Good morning, everybody. This is Mike Peters with the Pottsville Church of Christ, and it is time for our morning devotional. So let's get our Bibles out, and this morning we're going to turn over to the book of Mark, and we're going to look at chapter 1, and I'm going to begin reading at verse 21. Mark 1, verse 21. It reads, "Then they went into Capernaum, and immediately on the Sabbath he entered the synagogue and taught. And they were astonished at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. Now there was a man in their synagogue with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying, 'Let us alone. What have we to do with you, Jesus of Nazareth? Did you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God.' But Jesus rebuked him, saying, 'Be quiet and come out of him.' And when the unclean spirit had convulsed him and cried out with a loud voice, he came out of him. Then they were all amazed, so that they questioned among themselves, saying, 'What is this? What new doctrine is this? For with authority he commands even the unclean spirits, and they obey him.' And immediately his fame spread throughout all the region around Galilee." Again, very, very interesting reading that we have here. Jesus casting out an unclean spirit. Here he is. He's in Capernaum. That's his kind of his home base, and he goes on the Sabbath day, their religious day, into the synagogue. Synagogue meaning the gathering together place, and he's there and he's teaching them, and they are completely amazed. Mark says, because he's teaching not like the rabbis would teach, but with authority. As one who has authority. And so he's there teaching, and imagine the scene. Imagine if you were sitting there, and all of a sudden this ruckus comes up from somewhere in the back, somewhere in the crowd, and here's this demon-possessed man, and the demon's speaking through this man because he recognizes who Jesus is. And he's screaming at Jesus, "Leave us alone, just let us be." Because he knows that Jesus is the Holy One of God. What makes this really fascinating is there's a contrast here. Here are these scribes and religious leaders. They're gathered around and they're listening to Jesus teach, and they're astonished at this because they have no idea who he really is. They don't recognize the Messiah. They're the ones who knew the law. They're the ones who know the prophecies, and yet they don't understand that the one that has been prophesied for centuries, he's standing right in front of them teaching. And they look at him and they're confused. He's teaching with authority, but who is this? And even after Jesus dispenses with the demon and casts the demon out, they're still saying, "What is this? What new doctrine is this?" They have no idea what's going on. And yet it's the demon who recognizes him. It's the demon who identifies him as the Holy One of God. The religious leaders in the days of Jesus refused to acknowledge him as Messiah. They deny who he is to the point where they have him put to death. But here's a demon who knows exactly who he is. And he shows a great amount of fear, knowing that he does truly have authority and he truly has power. It reminds me of what James would write decades later when he says, "Even the demons believe and tremble." James 2 and verse 19. What an amazing account. And it makes me wonder, do I understand who Jesus is? And I don't mean just from a mental or intellectual type of knowledge. I mean, we can read the Bible and we can say, yes, Jesus is the Son of God. But do I look at Jesus and truly believe that he is the Holy One of God? Do I look at Jesus and put him on the throne of my heart, recognizing him as King of Kings and Lord of Lords? Do I look at Jesus as the one who has authority over my life? The religious leaders of Jesus' day didn't. And yet that demon who was possessing one of them in that audience absolutely did. This is Mike Peters with the Pottsville Church of Christ, and I hope that these little short devotionals, these little nuggets from God's Word, are being not just enjoyable to you, but helping us have a good day and putting a positive spin on our day as we're facing all of this pandemic still being sheltered at home. And if you're enjoying them, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell down there to be notified when a new video is uploaded. And if you're watching this on our Facebook feed, like our Facebook page. And not only that, but share this video onto your timeline and your page so that your friends can also hear this devotional, and we can get the message of Jesus out to as many people as possible, because that is our ultimate goal. This is Mike Peters again. I hope everybody is staying safe, and don't forget, always be praying.